The human mind is the most powerful tool we possess, yet it is also the most difficult to master. Every great achievement in history, every innovation, every record broken, and every impossible feat accomplished began not in the body, but in the mind. When you learn to control your mind, you learn to control your life. The challenge is that most people live as slaves to their thoughts, emotions, and impulses, without realizing that their mind should serve them, not dominate them. In the fast-paced, high-pressure world of the United States, the ability to discipline your mind becomes even more critical. Every day, individuals are bombarded with distractions, social media notifications, negative news cycles, political arguments, financial stress, and a constant overload of information. In such a world, controlling your mind is not a luxury, it is a survival skill. Those who fail to discipline their thoughts are swept away by circumstances, while those who harness their mental power rise above obstacles and shape their destiny. Controlling the mind does not mean suppressing it or silencing it. Instead, it means directing it, disciplining it, and using it with precision. A disciplined mind can focus on what matters, resist destructive temptations, and stay resilient in the face of adversity. Think of the mind like a wild horse. Left unchecked, it runs in every direction, wasting energy and often putting its rider in danger. But when trained, it becomes a force of incredible strength and speed, carrying its rider to places once thought unreachable. A small example makes this clear. Imagine a student preparing for medical school. The journey requires years of study, late nights, and immense concentration. Many students begin with enthusiasm, but over time, distractions pull them away. Parties, endless scrolling on social media, or the comfort of procrastination. The few who stay disciplined, who control their minds long enough to focus on their goal, eventually become doctors. The difference is not intelligence alone, but the ability to control the mind and direct it toward long-term success instead of short-term pleasure. The science of psychology has repeatedly shown that the human brain is wired to seek comfort and avoid pain. This is a survival mechanism that once helped our ancestors stay alive. But in today's modern society, this instinct works against us. Comfort now often means laziness, overconsumption, and lack of progress. Pain often means growth, discipline, and the pursuit of goals. Controlling the mind means reprogramming this instinct, training yourself to embrace discomfort when it leads to improvement, and resisting comfort when it leads to decline. Consider the example of physical fitness. The United States has some of the highest obesity rates in the world, not because people do not know what to do, but because they fail to control their minds. Everyone knows that exercise and healthy eating are beneficial. Yet when faced with the temptation of fast food or the comfort of the couch, the mind often chooses the easy path. Those who succeed in fitness are not always genetically gifted. They are mentally disciplined. They push themselves to go for a run even when it is cold outside, to lift weights even when tired, and to choose salad over fries. Their mind serves them instead of enslaving them. This principle applies not only to health, but to every area of life. Entrepreneurs who build thriving businesses, athletes who break world records, scientists who solve complex problems, and leaders who inspire millions all share one common trait: mastery over their minds. They control their focus, their emotions, and their reactions. They do not allow temporary setbacks to dictate their future, and they do not allow fear to paralyze them. In America, where opportunities are vast but competition is fierce, the ability to control your mind separates the average from the extraordinary. Think of Silicon Valley innovators who work tirelessly on their visions, often facing repeated failures before success. What kept them going? It was not luck alone. It was mental discipline, the refusal to let failure define them, and the ability to maintain focus on a vision when others would have given up. But how exactly does one begin to control the mind? It starts with awareness. Most people are unaware of their thought patterns. They allow negative thinking to spiral, anxiety to dominate, or anger to control their behavior. Awareness means noticing when your mind begins to wander into destructive territory and choosing to redirect it. It is like catching yourself before you fall into a trap. For example, someone might wake up feeling overwhelmed by bills and responsibilities. Instead of allowing the mind to spiral into panic, they pause, take a breath, and remind themselves that stress does not solve problems. Actions do. With a calm mind, they begin taking small steps to improve their situation. Another important step is training the mind through discipline. Discipline is not a punishment, it is freedom. It means you are free from being a slave to impulses. Meditation is one of the oldest and most effective practices for this. Sitting quietly and focusing on your breath trains the mind to resist distractions. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to concentrate in daily life. Athletes, CEOs, and even military leaders have used meditation to sharpen their focus and stay calm under pressure. A short example can be seen in the life of soldiers. Military training is designed not only to build physical strength, but also to instill mental discipline. Soldiers are taught to follow orders, remain calm in chaos, and push through extreme hardship. Their success in battle is not just about weapons, but about mastering their own minds. If soldiers can control their thoughts in life or death situations, then surely we can control our minds in daily challenges, like work deadlines or personal goals. It is also important to understand that controlling the mind is not about eliminating emotions. Emotions are natural and human. What matters is not being controlled by them. Anger, for instance, can destroy relationships, careers, and health when left unchecked. But when controlled, that same energy can fuel determination and courage. Fear can paralyze a person, but when mastered, it can sharpen awareness and push someone to prepare more effectively. Controlling the mind means transforming emotions into allies instead of enemies. In the United States, a land built on dreams and resilience, there are countless examples of individuals who overcame adversity through mental control. Immigrants who arrived with nothing but built successful businesses, athletes who came from poverty but became world champions, and ordinary people who transformed their lives through education, all share the same lesson. They refuse to let negative thoughts dominate their future. Technology and modern lifestyles make controlling the mind more challenging than ever. Endless entertainment, instant gratification, and the addiction of smartphones make it easy for the mind to scatter in 1,000 directions. Many people feel restless, unable to focus on one task for more than a few minutes. Yet those who can resist this pull, who can train their minds to focus deeply, will have an extraordinary advantage in every field. In fact, some of the wealthiest entrepreneurs in the USA today openly admit that their greatest strength is not intelligence but focus. Self-control and delayed gratification are at the heart of mental discipline. The famous marshmallow experiment conducted by Stanford University in the 1970s showed that children who were able to resist eating one marshmallow immediately in order to receive 2 marshmallows later ended up more successful in life. They had better careers, healthier relationships, and stronger financial stability. The experiment revealed a timeless truth. The ability to control your mind and delay gratification leads to long-term rewards. For the modern reader in the USA, this lesson is urgent. Consumer culture encourages immediate pleasure. Buy now, pay later, binge watch instead of working, indulge instead of saving. But those who train their minds to resist the temptation of the easy path and stay committed to the hard path of growth eventually rise above. Success is not about what you do occasionally, but what you do consistently, and consistency comes from mental discipline. A final example can be seen in athletes preparing for the Olympics. They dedicate 4 years of their lives to one event. They train day after day, often through pain and exhaustion, with no guarantee of victory. What allows them to persist? The ability to control their minds, to shut down negative thoughts, and to remain focused on their vision. Their bodies follow the orders of their minds, so the message is clear. Control your mind, and you control your future. The challenges of life will never disappear. Stress, setbacks, and struggles are part of the human experience, but the way you respond to them is entirely in your control. The mind can either be your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. If you allow your mind to drift toward fear, laziness, and doubt, it will sabotage your dreams. But if you train it, discipline it, and master it, then no challenge is too great, no goal is unreachable, and no obstacle is permanent. Remember this: success is not about controlling the world, it is about controlling yourself. The richest and most powerful individuals are not those who conquered nations or markets, but those who conquered their own minds. In America, where opportunity and distraction coexist, the greatest victory is self-mastery. Learn to focus when others are distracted, to persevere when others quit, and to believe when others doubt. That is the true power of controlling your mind.